Going psychotic is unpleasant. It's not a great experience, and it's something that creeps on over time. I never tend to realize I'm going psychotic, and that is mainly because a common symptom of psychosis is anosognosia. Anosognosia is basically an unawareness of your symptoms, so you can't tell that anything is changing in you. You can't tell that your reality is not the same as anyone's around you. For me, I typically feel like I'm fine and I am myself and I'm like my truest self, but the things happening around me are unsettling, uncomfortable, weird, heightened. I don't see anything wrong with it though, because I don't really know that it's happening. Because of this, it's actually incredibly hard for me to remember the onset of my episodes without really doing some digging through my memories to kind of discern what the fuck was going on, because it's so hard to tell. For one thing, like I said, psychosis creeps on and it takes some time to get there, sometimes months, weeks, years. It could be varied from person to person or time to time. I've had 5 episodes, and each one the onset has either been very long or very short, depending on the circumstances. This onset phase is called the prodromal phase. There are 3 phases of psychosis. There's the prodromal phase, acute phase, and recovery phase. And this is basically like the arc of psychosis. So the prodromal phase is like slow oncoming and incline. You might still be somewhat aware of what is happening to you. It's sort of coming on. And then the acute phase is the peak. This is the most extreme point. This is the break from reality, or maybe if you don't have a complete break, just the most heightened amount of symptoms that are happening in an insane volume to you. And after that kind of reaches its conclusion, there is the recovery phase, which is very slow, arduous, difficult, painful. Recovering from psychosis is a struggle all its own that I'll probably make a video about just for that, but we're focusing on the prodromal phase today. For me, if I can look back and deduce what happened, it always started with negative symptoms, and negative symptoms aren't very clearly defined in the DSM. They're just listed as negative symptoms. But negative symptoms, from all appearances, looks like depression because it does involve depression, and it also involves not taking care of your hygiene, withdrawing from your friends and family, isolating a lot, kind of cutting out your activities, basically just closing in on yourself, and basically just like withdrawing from everything, just closing off to the world and being isolated. Once I'm in that soul, like lonesome place of just being by myself, that's when I start to experience paranoia. And I will become suspicious of everything around me. I will start to have like baby delusions where I'm not having full on beliefs, but I'm having suspicions where I'm like, okay, why do I feel so suspicious? Why do I feel scared all the time? Why do I feel like there are people following me when there's logically no one there? Like, I can tell that nothing is wrong, but I still have this feeling that something is going on. This will typically be followed by disordered thinking, which I just kind of call psychotic thinking, because this kind of thinking, it is illogical, and it's typically just me getting way too philosophical, questioning absolutely everything. Like, I don't understand how matter works. How are things solid and how are things fluid? Why can't I put my hand through a wall, but I can put it in water and the water moves? And when I pull my hand out, my hand is wet and the water clings to my hand, even though it's not solid. Why is it sticking to me? Like, why does it dry? How does it dry? What's that all about? What's with air? Like, why can I see through air? Why can't I actually see air? What is with breathing air, and why can't I feel it? What is all of this about? The more I get into spiraling into these thoughts, the more amped up I get, and I start to go manic, and I will become very animated, and I will talk really fast. I will have to get all the words out at once. I will just like talk at people. I will become super hyper. I will start doing very reckless things like, I don't know, like dancing on top of roofs, I don't know, something like that. Just really random stuff. Skinny dipping with my friends, random stuff that I would never normally do. It's usually around the point that I'm having racing thoughts and can't sleep anymore that I realize, okay, I think I'm going manic. And having schizoaffective disorder, I know that bipolar is like part of my disorder, so I should probably go see a doctor. I should set up an appointment, and I should do that right away because I need to get out of this. By that point, it's already too late because once I realize I'm manic, I am right towards a break. Sometimes even just a week later, I will go into a break, and that is when I lose all concept of reality. I have no firm standing in reality, and the anosognosia has completely taken over. I have no awareness whatsoever of anything at all, and I am completely at the mercy of my delusions and hallucinations and paranoia. I can't get out of it until typically there's some sort of a medical intervention where I'm taken to a hospital and given medication, because for me, there's no other way of staying out of psychosis. So that's basically the onset. That's what the prodromal phase looks like. The prodromal phase, like I said, can take a long time. And for me, the first time it happened, no one saw it coming. I was acting weird, but it was such a slow, gradual onset that no one could really tell. I just seemed like I was having behavioral issues. So basically, that's what that looks like. It's different for everyone, but I'm sure there are some common similarities, and that's from my experience what it's been like. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd be happy to make more. Let me know if there's anything you'd specifically like me to talk about, because I'm always looking for new ideas.